Well, I got more time than I thought I had, and I was getting some viewers, but then I ended the video because I'm not gonna walk into somebody's house streaming and don't have their permission for them to be on camera or anything like that. I don't know. I thought he was home, but I guess he ain't. See, I'll get some subscribers, and then I'll say certain things, and I'll lose subscribers, but not as many as I thought that I would lose, and then I'll gain some new ones. So it's just I used to tiptoe. I still do a little bit because every other social media gets banned. But I used to be like, I need to keep this channel just about farming hobbies and stuff, or else it'll get deleted. But lately, it seems like they're letting people say things that they haven't been letting people say for a long time. But I think that with them passing the laws that they're going to pass, they're going to let people have the rope to hang themselves, because they're talking about anti-Semitic, basically bans on free speech, punishing people for free speech. So if you're really an American, you're not going to want to make hate speech legislation. Let's say I love my child. Am I going to love somebody that's killing him? No. You can't. If you have the power to tell people who they can and can't hate, you can tell people who they can and can't love. And then if you can control people's speech, you can control how people think. Hate speech is just a way to force people not to be able to love who they love, because you hate the opposite of what you love. You hate your baby? Well, you don't like a monster that eats your baby, will you? And you can't, let's say you say, I love my dog or something, and then some wolf comes out and attacks your dog and you don't do nothing. Then your love don't mean anything. It's just an empty word. It don't mean anything. And so I'm against hate speech legislation. And so there are a lot of evil people doing evil things, but you're not allowed to call them out because of their race. They're Jewish. And so it hurts their feelings. And so they're going to make if you say anything criticizing the political state of Israel, oh, that's anti-Semitism. If you say they own the media when they do, that's anti-Semitism. If you say they own the banks when they do, that's anti-Semitism, because you're not allowed to criticize those who rule over you. And so people are saying, it's like, Kamala Harris wasn't for free speech at all, but Trump's for passing the anti-Semitic hate speech legislation and making it illegal to boycott Israel. So he's really Israel first. And so are the Republicans and Democrats. Congress is controlled by AIPAC. But to be honest, this nation in America wasn't founded by a bunch of British people that rebelled against the British Christian kings. It was a bunch of Jewish Freemasons pretending to be Indians throwing tea into the sea. Basically, the British decided, let's go against the Christian kings and side with these Jewish secret societies so we can get freedom. And that promise of freedom was an illusion to get rid of the Christian kings so that the money powers could come into power, so that those who absolutely hated everything we stood for, hated our race, call us Amalek, and want to destroy us, could come to power. Because that's who was holding them back. The Christian kings were holding them back. And there's no such thing as freedom, because there's consequences to every action. There's cause and effect. Freedom is just this abstract illusion that doesn't exist. Like if you love your family, you've lost a certain amount of freedom just from that. Love's the greatest slaver of them all. There is no just freedom, do whatever you want without consequences. Hello, are you reading the comments? Well, I was talking and on a rant, but I do read them. Now I'm gonna read them. Do you think Floptropica is real? I've never heard of Floptropica. So I don't know. I gotta look at that. Gives me something homework to look into. Do you have a Pose ring? I don't know what that is. Hello, are you reading the comments? Now I am. And I'm look, are slippery because they're crocheted, but I can still walk on the trains. Oh, I'm gonna fall. I can do it better barefoot. Whoa. You know, there's a lot of things. It doesn't matter how smart you are about how much truth you know. That's not what determines how much truth you know. It's how much do you love the truth. Because you could be a genius and not love the truth, and the truth can be right in front of you and you won't see it. And you'll be able to really make some good arguments to talk yourself out of seeing the truth right in front of you. So the love of truth, that's the most important component to finding out what the truth is. But then when you say things that are factually true, and then people slander you, call you a hater, censor you and everything, you realize they're trying to form a fake consensus. That's why they censor. They're trying to make it look like everybody agrees with them when everybody doesn't. Have you noticed that if Jews own a social media company or platform, as soon as they buy anything, they disable the dislikes? It's every single time. You're not allowed to have a dislike button because they're trying to manufacture consensus. They're trying to make it look like everybody agrees. I'm Floptropican. Well, if you're a Floptropican, then I guess there's Floptropicans out there. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to talk about something that I don't know about. I don't know. I tell you, I don't know. Floptropican. What does that mean, Floptropican? Floptropican. Oh, I'm tired of these gnats a little bit. I hope that nobody reports this channel. I'm tired of everything getting deleted. And used to, I could kind of vent and say things that I felt in other places. And I kept my YouTube channel just chickens, bees, fruit trees. Never got political. Never said anything controversial because I didn't want it deleted. But they deleted everything else. And so now I got to vent somewhere. And then, most of my subscribers, it shows me the age range and where they're from. So I'm pretty sure about half of my subscribers really are going to disagree with me about Israel. But then, and also people come here to see videos of puppies and bees, and they didn't come here to hear this stuff, I don't guess. But I used to be a very strong supporter of Israel. I used to be a Christian Zionist. So it's not like I just woke up one day and for no reason hated people for no reason, got mad for no reason, and was against Israel for no reason. The way I was raised and the way I started off in life and all the influence in my life and everything in my life was pro-Israel. And I was pro-Israel. What I was against was fractional reserve lending. And because I was against fractional reserve lending, I began to be slandered as an anti-Semite. And I'm like, why am I getting... I didn't even know that Jews owned the Federal Reserve. I didn't know it was Italian and British Jews owning the Federal Reserve. I didn't know the Rothschilds were Jewish. I didn't know any of that. And then there were some people were coming against them because they were talking about that Jews owned a monopoly on the media. And I was a supporter of the Jews. I saw the Muslims as the problem. And so I just looked into it to see if it was true or not. Now keep in mind, I supported Israel at the time in my life. But the truth was, yeah, they did have a monopoly on media. Well, I said that. And then my Jewish friends got mad at me, abandoned me, slandered me. And I'm like, what the crap? Why are you saying this? You know it's true. Like, you can look up who owns it. It's true. But they can say it. If they say it and brag about it, it's okay. But if a non-Jew says it, oh, you're in trouble. Why? Why aren't we allowed to say what's true right in front of our face? Why can't we say, hey, the Jews on Facebook, hey, the Jews on CNN? Why can't we say that? Why aren't we allowed to know that? You know, and it's like this in every country, just about it. Every single country in the world, just about it. Their bank is owned by Jews, not their people. Their media is owned by Jews, not their people. I'm just saying. But, yes, whatever. So, I'm kind of disappointed because I was hoping they would just jail people about that Epstein stuff. You remember the first term, Hillary's like, hey, Trump, someone with his temperament should never be in office. And he said, yeah, because you'd be in jail. And I was excited about that. But did Hillary Clinton go to jail? Nope. Epstein's probably alive in Israel working for Mossad right now. Killed a doppelganger, put him in his place. The ears don't match. The nose don't match. Hey, sometimes I get done live streaming and I've got more subscribers than before. But sometimes I'll lose one. Sometimes I'll lose one. Flop Tropican. I'm a Bronin. I belong to a micronation called the Bronin Republic. Is that? I want to know more about Flop Tropica. Flop Tropican. I belong to this little club, this little mini micronation, the Bronin Republic. So I'm a Bronin. You're Flop Tropican. I'm supposed to be going to hang over at my neighbor's house, but he's not answering his phone. His truck's in his yard and his door's locked, so I don't really want to go in there. I don't even know if, I don't know, he said come over, but now it looks like he's busy. I don't know. He might have rode with someone else and his truck's there and he's not there. That might be what's going on. Dang, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get this account deleted too. I probably will post this one though. Probably will.